I think the turtle got something to eat. Let's zoom in. Okay, I'm gonna zoom out. So it's dark out, and I'm chilling at my favorite spot of my house. That is my koi pond. You can see the fish on that side. You can also see a fish on this side at the bottom of the screen, and the turtle is right there, right? There's another turtle on the side right there. If you notice it, it's right there by the little flower close to that little lowest container. It is my favorite spot of the house. It rained, was it yesterday? I believe it did yesterday. So technically the pond, it's kind of full. I think the fish like when the pond is full. Look at those two over there at the top. Let's zoom in. There we go. I think the fish like it when the pond is full. They have more room, because it's more water, so they have more space they can swim around. And when it doesn't rain for a few days, of course, a lot of the water evaporates. Sometimes I may have to go add water myself just so it doesn't dry out, especially when it goes for like more than a week or two without raining. I may have to go add water myself. What is this turtle looking at? Let's zoom in. That's not a turtle, that's a tortoise. Somebody told me they don't like water. But if you notice, you see that entire enclosure, you're only seeing this angle, but the enclosure goes further out to the right and to the left. And if you notice, I have that little net covering it, so the tortoise don't really get out. Okay, but somebody told me they don't like water. I sat here and watched this guy left the land and walked into the water and chilled right on the edge of the water. So half of his body's submerged underneath the water, while the other half, it's out of the water, as you can see. You saw the head, you saw it moving a little. Yeah, it's just kind of hanging there, floating. Sometimes it actually immersed himself, like it emerged, like it actually immersed himself inside the entire water. Like I'm looking at the tortoise at the bottom, and then it will come right back to the top and crawl out by itself. So the person who told me they don't like water, I think seeing is believing. When I say seeing is believing, it's like I'm watching it go inside the water. It has free will to a certain extent, because it really can't get out of the little enclosure, really, but it has free will when it comes to deciding to get inside the water or not. Yeah, so I'm at my favorite spot of my house. When I say out of favorite spot, when I'm outdoors, when I'm outside my house, so basically I like to sit out here, throw a couple of food at the fish and at the tortoise, and watch them go. Watch them feed, watch them react. I find it very relaxing. So in the wintertime, I'm told they usually hibernate. So most of the time they would dig up a hole and they would get inside of it and, you know, stay there for a few months till it gets warm again. I don't know if this guy is big enough to dig its own hole yet to hibernate. So when that time comes, I may just have to bring him in the house, or I may have to dig the hole myself. But I'm gonna let it do what it does naturally first to see what happens, and I'm gonna do my own research to see how cold of a temperature they could withstand. And if he does not dig a hole, by the time the temperature seems to be dropping to that level, I will have to bring him in the house. So that fish looked like it's actually getting big. It used to be inside my fish tank, but when I created this little outdoor habitat for the tortoise, I decided to create a koi pond in the middle of it or whatever, right? So that was one of the first fish I put in here. It was a little bit smaller than this. I'm just watching it. I'm like, yo, is that fish getting big right in front of my eyes? I think it has gotten bigger since I brought it out here. These other ones right here, they could actually go to the other side, but that would only happen when it's full, when it's like completely full with water. And the only time that happens is when it's raining. So they could get stuck on this side or they could get stuck on the other side. It all depends on the volume of the water that I have in there. But the only time I've noticed it full to the brim is when it's like raining and they have a choice. They could go on the other side or they could stay on the side they're on. I think the tortoise is about to go for something else. Maybe more food that I don't see. Yeah. So this little outdoor enclosure for the tortoise and the koi fish, I think it's pretty cool. It still has a lot more work. I think I still have more things I want to do to it. Like, I want to make it maybe a little, I don't know, deeper, or, you know, not the entire parts, you know, just in some parts so the water actually connects more. So basically, instead of the fish being stuck on either side based on the volume of the water, I want to make it in such a way that they could swim all the way through without this little separation in the middle that seemed to not only to, you know, the only time they're not separated is when the volume of the water is full to the brim, like I said. So I want to make it in such a way that that does not happen. I want to make it in such a way, okay, the tortoise is crawling out of the water. I'm distracted. So, and now I had to pause. So let's go back to what I was talking about. I want to make it in such a way that the fish will be able to swim the entire length of the pond every time, not only when the water is full. See, it went back in the water. Whoever said it doesn't like water, can you see it swimming?